There's a reason some Firewatch towers don't get used anymore. It's not always budget cuts, it's not always storms. Sometimes it's because the last person who worked there left something behind, something no one wants to deal with. I didn't know any of that when I took the job. All I knew was that I needed the money and I needed to get away. Tower 14 was listed as seasonal reactivation. Good pay, isolated, quiet. That sounded perfect. The ranger who hired me didn't say much. She handed me the keys, a radio, and a clipboard. Then she said, "Keep the radio on at all times." I nodded. Standard procedure, right? She hesitated just for a second. Then, "If you hear anything unusual, don't respond right away." I laughed lightly. What counts as unusual? She didn't smile. "You'll know." I should have asked more questions, but I didn't. The hike up to Tower 14 took about 3 hours. Steep, winding trail, no signal, no people. Just trees and that heavy quiet feeling you get when you're too far from everything. The tower itself stood above the tree line, tall, thin, rusted in places, but still standing. Inside it was basic: a cot, a desk, old equipment, and the radio. Big, outdated, but functional. There was also something else: a tape recorder. It sat in the corner of the desk, dusty, but plugged in. I didn't touch it. Not yet. The first day was normal. I logged weather patterns, watched the horizon, checked for smoke, routine, quiet, safe. Night came slowly, and with it that feeling. Like something had changed, not outside, but around me. I turned the radio on just like I was told. Static filled the room, low, constant, comforting in a strange way. Around midnight, I heard the first voice. "Hello." It was faint, buried under static. I sat up, pressed closer to the radio. "Hello," I said. The voice came again. "Hello." Same tone, same pacing, not answering, repeating. I leaned back slowly, heart starting to race. Then I remembered what the ranger said. Don't respond right away. Too late. The radio clicked, static cut out for just a second. Then, clear as day. "Hello." My voice. I didn't touch the radio again that night. Morning came. Everything felt normal again, like it had been a dream. I told myself it was a dream, until I checked the logbook. There was an entry, written in shaky handwriting, not mine. Day 3. It repeats you. Don't answer. I flipped back through the pages. More entries, different handwriting, same message. Day 5. It's learning faster now. Day 6. It said my name. Day 7. I think it's in the tower. The last entry. Day 8. Do not use the tape recorder. I slowly turned my head toward the desk. The tape recorder. Still sitting there. Still plugged in. I didn't touch it. Not that day. The second night was worse. The radio didn't wait. It started as soon as the sun went down. "Hey." Soft, close. I didn't respond. "Are you there?" My voice again, but different, more natural, less mechanical, like it was improving. I covered the radio with a blanket. Didn't help. The sound wasn't coming from the speaker anymore. It was in the room, behind me. "Hey." I froze. Slowly I turned around. Nothing. But the door to the tower was open. I knew I closed it. I knew I did. The stairs beyond it disappeared into the darkness, and from somewhere below, "Come down." My voice echoing up the stairwell. I slammed the door shut, locked it, pushed the desk in front of it. The voice didn't stop. "Come down, come down, come down," over and over, faster each time, until silence. Complete, sudden. I didn't sleep again. Morning came, but the feeling didn't leave this time. It stayed, like something had followed the light up with me. I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the tape recorder. I don't know why. Maybe I thought it would explain something. I pressed play. At first nothing, then static, then a voice. "This is Ranger Ellis, Tower 14 log." Calm, professional. "Something is wrong with the radio." A pause. "It's repeating me." My stomach dropped. "If anyone finds this, do not respond to it." The tape crackled. "It gets closer every time you answer." Another pause, longer this time. Then a whisper. "It's in the stairs." The tape stopped. I didn't move. Then, from behind me, "It's in the stairs." I dropped the recorder. Slowly, I turned towards the door. The handle was moving, just slightly, like something on the other side was testing it. "Don't," I whispered. The handle stopped. Then, "Don't." My voice, right against the door. I backed away, heart pounding so loud it hurt. The radio came back on, full volume, every voice at once. "Hello, come down, don't, help me, open the door." All of them mine, all layered together. And underneath it all, something else, something that didn't sound human at all. I grabbed my things. I didn't care about the job anymore. I didn't care about anything. I ran to the window, looked down. Too high. No other way out. The door shook, harder now. Something was hitting it, over and over. The wood started to crack. And through the noise, we're almost the same now. I don't remember deciding. I just remember moving. I climbed out the window. I used the out ladder. Didn't look back. Didn't stop. I ran all the way down that mountain. Branches tore at me. Rocks slipped under my feet. I didn't care. I just kept running until I reached the trailhead. I saw the ranger station. Until I was safe, or so I thought. The ranger was there. Same one who hired me. She took one look at me and sighed. "You answered it," she said. I nodded. She closed her eyes just for a second. "Sit down," she said. I did. "What was that thing?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Then, "It's why we don't staff that tower anymore." "Then why send me?" I snapped. She looked at me, tired. "Because sometimes it goes quiet," she said. "We think it's gone." "And then?" I asked. She glanced toward the mountains. "Then someone answers it again." I felt the cold. "Did it follow me?" I asked. She hesitated. Then, "Yes." The room went silent. "What do I do?" I whispered. She leaned forward. "Don't respond." I nodded. "That was 3 weeks ago. I haven't gone back. I don't answer unknown calls. I don't use radios. I don't even talk out loud when I'm alone. But it doesn't matter, because sometimes, late at night, I hear it anyway. Soft, patient, learning. Hello. And every time it sounds a little more like me. So if you ever take a job somewhere remote, somewhere quiet, somewhere no one else wants to go, and they give you one simple rule, follow it. because the things out there don't need much. Just a voice, just one answer. And once they have that, they don't need you anymore. They can be you. I didn't tell anyone what happened, not at first, because no matter how many times I tried to explain it in my head, it always sounded wrong, not impossible, just incomplete. Like I was missing something important, or something had been taken. The first week after I got back, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I was back in that clearing. The pale light, the unmoving trees, the sound of footsteps circling just out of sight. But the worst part wasn't the memory. It was the feeling that it hadn't stayed there. The sound started small. A creak in the hallway outside my bedroom, the soft shift of weight on the floorboards at night. At first, I blamed the house. Old wood, temperature changes, normal things. But then it started copying me. The first time, I thought I imagined it. I was in the kitchen, pouring a glass of water when I heard it behind me. A voice. My voice. Hello. I froze. The glass slipped slightly in my hand, water spilling over my fingers. Slowly, I turned around. Nothing. Just the empty hallway. Dark, quiet, but I knew what I had heard. It wasn't just similar, it was exact. After that, I started noticing the delays. I'd say something out loud on the phone to myself, it didn't matter, and then seconds later, I'd hear it again, from somewhere else in the house, softer, wrong. Like it was being repeated by something that didn't understand what the words meant. Yeah, I'll call you back. Pause from the hallway. Called you back. I'm just tired. Pause from the living room. Just tired. It wasn't mimicking me in real time. It was practicing. I stopped talking as much after that. Stopped making unnecessary noise. I even turned off the TV most nights just to avoid giving it anything new to copy. But that didn't stop it, because it already had enough. It had me. The second week is when I realized it wasn't just in the house. It was following me. I heard it in the parking lot at work, footsteps behind me, matching my pace exactly. When I stopped, they stopped. When I turned, nothing. I heard it in the public restrooms, my voice echoing faintly from an empty stall. Hello. I even heard it once while driving, soft, from the back seat, repeating something I had muttered hours earlier. That's when I understood something I hadn't before. It wasn't tied to the forest. It was tied to me. I tried to ignore it. I tried to go back to normal, but normal doesn't work when something is learning how to be you. The first time I saw it again, I almost convinced myself it was just a reflection. I was brushing my teeth, staring into the bathroom mirror, trying not to think about the silence in the house, the kind of silence that feels crowded. I leaned forward slightly, rinsing, and for a second, just a second, I saw something behind me, a shape, standing in the doorway. I spun around. Nothing. But when I looked back at the mirror, it was still there. Not in the room, only in the reflection. It stood just behind me, too tall, its head slightly tilted, like it didn't quite understand what it was looking at. And its face was closer now, more accurate, more practiced, but still wrong. The eyes didn't blink at the right time. The mouth moved just a fraction too late, like a delay, like bad synchronization. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. And slowly, it raised its hand. Not towards me, toward the mirror. Its fingers pressed slightly against the glass, long, too many joints, bending just slightly too far. And then it smiled. I turned around again. Nothing. The doorway was empty. But the mirror. The mirror had a handprint on it on the outside. That's when I stopped pretending, stopped trying to explain it away, because whatever I brought back with me wasn't learning from a distance anymore. It was getting closer. I started noticing gaps in my memory, small things at first, forgetting where I left my keys, forgetting what I had just said, and then it got worse. I found messages on my phone I didn't remember sending, short, simple, all sent to my own number. Hello, you there? Come back. The timestamps were always late at night, around the same time I would usually be asleep. I checked my call logs. There were outgoing calls too, all to myself, all unanswered. I tried staying awake one night just to see. Around 2 a.m. I started to feel it, the same stillness from the forest, that heavy, watching quiet, and then I heard movement, not in the house, in the room, behind me. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, phone in hand, staring at the dark screen. Slowly, I lifted it, switched to the front camera, and angled it behind me. At first I saw nothing, just the dim outline of my room, the door, the wall. Then something moved. It was standing in the corner, right where the shadows were deepest, watching me. And as I stared at the screen, it leaned forward, closer, closer, until its face filled the camera. My face, perfect now, every detail right, every movement in sync, no delay, no distortion. It smiled, and on the screen, so did I. But I wasn't smiling. I dropped the phone, spun around. Nothing. But when I picked the phone back up, the camera was still on, still facing the corner, and it was still there, watching me through the screen. That's when I understood the last part, the part I'd been missing since the beginning. It wasn't just copying me. It wasn't just learning my voice. It was replacing me, piece by piece. Memory, voice, movement, reflection, until there wouldn't be a difference anymore. No one could tell which one of us was real. I don't know how much time I have left. I don't know how much it's already taken. But I do know one thing. It doesn't need the forest anymore. And it doesn't need a ranger's warning. Because now, it goes where I go. And if you're hearing this, if you're listening closely, pay attention to the pauses, the slight delays, the moment where something sounds like you, but not quite, because that's how it starts. And once it learns you, it doesn't stop. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the next scary story. And remember, they're just stories.